this car accident victim wants to know what his case is worth. He was hit by an Uber driver that has Progressive insurance. Let's take a look at this. So you can never perfectly estimate how much a case is worth because there's a lot of factors involved. But let's go through some of them. Property damage. Even though the property damage is a separate claim from the injury claim, the insurance company will still consider if there's a lot of property damage or not when they give an offer on the injury claim. So if there's minor PD, they're going to give a lower offer or no offer. And if there's major PD, they're going to bump up their offer a little bit more. The second thing I look for is who is the insurance company, because they all operate differently. Some insurance companies give a little bit higher of an offer than others because they want to resolve matters, settle cases instead of going to court all day, where other insurance companies like State Farm, they don't care. They give low offers. They don't care about court. This insurance company is Progressive, which I have found to be in the middle of the pack. They go on a case-by-case basis. Sometimes you get a decent offer, sometimes you don't. The caveat here is that there's Uber involved, so they're going to be a little bit more on the upside with their offer because Uber's involved. The third thing that I'm going to look at is who was the driver on the other side. In this situation, it was an Uber driver, but sometimes you look a little bit closer, and if they have, a bad driving record or something like that, that could affect the type of settlement offer that is given, or if they have criminal history, that could affect the offer, because insurance companies don't want to have to defend someone that has a bad criminal record or bad driving record and bring that into the courtroom where it becomes public information. Okay, the fourth thing, which is going to be the biggest part of it, is what are the medical bills and what are the injuries? I could go on and on here in this category right here with a lot of different tree branches that could discuss other things, but let's just keep it short. We're going to talk about this guy's case who sent a comment, and then we're going to figure out how much his case is worth, or at least an estimate. So we went back and forth with some comments here. He told me that he did about 30 days of therapy. I don't know if he went to the hospital because it's not mentioned. And then he's saying that he has a herniation in his neck and back. Actually, he had one in his neck and two in his back. He also said that he had 4 injections. So I imagine maybe 2 in each, or 1 here and 3 here. Yeah, I'm doing the best that I can to go off of the information that was given, but again, there are different things that come into these evaluations. But let's just try to assume here how much his bills are, because he wasn't exactly sure. 30 days, maybe you have about 7 grand with the chiro. If he got 2 MRIs, he may have like 6,500 in MRIs. And if he got 4 injections, whether they're trigger point injections or ESI injections plays a big difference here. If they're ESI injections, he could be looking at 10 grand a pop, which would be 40K, which if you add up this and this, that's 13.5, that's 53.5 in bills. Now, a really important part is who is his lawyer, because when Uber, Progressive, especially when they're insuring Uber, they're going to look at who's the lawyer on the other side. Because if the lawyer on the other side has a great courtroom record against Uber, Progressive is going to be giving a little bit higher of an offer to that lawyer. But if it's a lawyer they'd never heard of before, they're not really threatened by him, because this lawyer or this woman who is a lawyer has not proved her or himself against Uber and Progressive. So that's going to affect the type of offer that they give, because, whoever this is, that matters. In this situation, I don't know who it is. All right, so let's just do the best that we can with this estimation now, and figured if there's 53.5 in medical bills. One more thing that matters is there any recommended further treatment, because if there's further treatment that's been recommended, then a good lawyer is going to make sure that the insurance company, Uber, Progressive, they know that not only do they have these medical bills and not only do they have these injuries and had to get this treatment, but they also have recommended treatment for the future. So that way you could open up the door to say, we want more money because there's also future damages here. You could also make the case if there's any permanent damage here. I don't know if there is or not. We didn't get that far in the consult, but there's a lot of things that weigh in here. So in a nutshell, this is somewhat of what you're looking at here. And we'll just say there's no recommended treatment and no permanent damage, and he made a full recovery based on this offer. I would say that Progressive, with a reasonable attorney involved, is going to probably offer around $75,000 for the case. You may get on a low end $60,000, and on a high end you may get $90,000. That's my guess around of what kind of offers would be given, at the table here. Again, it all matters of a lot of different things going on here. But what you would do then, let's work with somewhere in the middle there. Let's say you have $80,000. Or let's say you get the high end. Let's say you get the high end, $90,000. Great job. And, the attorney's able to reduce this medical bill down to $30,000. And his legal fees are $30,000. And you walk away with $30,000 and all your bills and your legal fees paid. That's kind of a scenario there. I hope that it works out for you. Obviously, if you're on the low end of the 60 here, then maybe you have the 60K and the attorney fees are going to be $20,000, and maybe he could get these medical bills down to like $25,000. Then you're looking at, that's 20, that's 45. Then you're only looking at $15,000 walking away with. A good law firm is going to reduce their fee so that, they get $17,500 and you get $17,500. I know anytime that I work with someone involved in an accident, the law firm that I work for never takes more than the client. That is something that we do at the firm. We're not going to take more than the client. So I'm not sure where this is going to end up. Again, it depends on a lot of different factors. If there's a kind of lower impact type of case here, Progressive could say, look, this is lower, this is minor. They could also look at these injection bills and say, look, that's a very inflated type of injection bill, and then you could be even looking at a lower offer. So that's the ballpark that I'm given here. If there's recommended treatment or there's permanent damage, now we could talk, especially if it's like a surgery that's been recommended, you're talking about, probably in the 150 to 350 type of K range. If you go and get that surgery, now you have more bills. You could be, pushing towards the 400K if you actually get the surgery, and then there's recommended treatment after that. So yeah, there's a lot of ins and outs when it comes to coming up with a value for a car accident case, just like I mentioned in this demonstration here. If you'd like a free case evaluation, you can reach out to me, 832-925-2030. Hope this video has been educational for you. God bless you and have a good day.